Well, it's a blast from the past 1950s style, but not quite it isn't. Because of course this thing is playing a CD. It simply wouldn't run both speakers before. And when I looked inside the back, I couldn't see the speakers at first because on the back of each one there was this curious shroud arrangement screwed on. Fortunately, the speakers are held in by little tiny nuts and bolts. You just about make it out there. But getting this and the speaker off was quite something. I ended up taking off two plastic steady bars, one here and one there for the tuner circuitry, in order to get the thing out at all. I think it might be from the Crapperphone stable, this thing, because one thing I did notice was this washer. That was stuck between the magnet here and the pole piece, which is the metallic colour part, so presumably that speaker was never actually quite properly made in the first place. Ouch. But it does seem to be alright there. Quite nice little 4-inch, well, I suppose they're 3.5 in reality, inches diameter long throw units, 8 ohms, 5 watts. I don't know what sort of watts that is, by the way. I'm sure it's not RMS. But with these plastic shrouds on, the thing sounded most odd. It was boxed in, almost like a tape deck with duff heads, that sort of a sound. Another thing was that they'd gone and put this stuff in the speaker grills. It looks like baby's nappy liner, you know, and is best avoided for the same reason. ITT put that stuff into these old speakers back in the 70s, and it was terrible. There was a load here where the actual 5x8 driver was, and then a load more here where they made a bass reflex port. Well, of course, as you know, what I did was to fit a tweeter here. You can just about see it lurking behind there, and an Altai 5x8 long throw and a crossover, and the sound was transformed. So I've used the same sort of trick here. I've done away with the nappy liner stuff. I've also done away with the plastic shrouds, and it has greatly improved the sound of this thing. I haven't done anything else to it. It doesn't have such luxuries as a tone control or bass boost or anything like that. Although intriguingly, I have seen a model very similar to this that has a socket on the back for a super woofer. So I don't know, they must make different versions down the years, I guess. This is about 10 years old, and it's one of the ones that was made under the Steepletone label before they went over to Crapperphone, as Spanner Works calls it. Oh dear. Anyway, at least it does sound a bit better than it did, though. Certainly got more bass there than you ever had before. Controls on it are somewhat basic, as you'd expect, and a bit difficult to see because they're all moulded in this brown dark plastic. You've got a repeat control there, which I think repeats one, or if you press it again, repeats them all. Rewind, fast forward, or skip to your next track, or go back to your last track. Play and pause, of course, and then you've got stop. You also got a program button there, so you can program the ones that you want to come on in sequence. There is, however, hidden away an FM radio, There you are, FM, AM, in fact. A little tiny illuminated dial scale. Hidden away behind this apparent title plate. Let's see what the radio sounds like. I bet it won't sound that good, because we're not in the best place for reception here. Which way am I going? That way.
Got a big image problem though, haven't you?
Sounds like Vivaldi or some such.
Are doing it for themselves.
Certainly can.
I think that was a bit after this thing's time, wasn't it?
She said, I love you, boy, I love you so. She said, I love you, baby, oh, 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 oh. Yes, it is.
You've got on the side of it 3 more controls. AM and FM for the band selection. Function switch, radio, CD and off, of course. And then, of course, the all-important volume control. There's enough room in here to fit a letterbox-style cassette deck, and I'm only surprised they haven't, really, but they haven't. We could try AM and see if there's anything doing out there in AM land today.
Selon le patron de la CGT, Bernard Thibault. 35 heures de travaux d'intérêt général pour avoir insulté le président de la République. C'est la peine infligée par le tribunal de Bobigny.
Because we're so close to France, in fact, on a clear day, if you go up to a place called the Fire Hills, you can look over and see the French coast, as you can from Dover Castle or Folkestone. Get up somewhere high, you have to do that to overcome the slight curvature of the earth, of course, because I suppose we must be, well, probably 20 odd miles away from the coast of France. Certainly at night, on a clear night, you can see many street lights all lit up, and occasionally even get a flash from somebody with their car headlights on full beam. Well, it sounds like the French are having a good time anyway. And then, of course, turn him off. So there you are. That's a crapophone that's a wee bit different. And it's not a bad looking thing, really, is it, as they go? Looks like a, well, I suppose a Wurlitzer jukebox. That sort of thing. Absolutely covered in little lights that come on when you switch on. Hasn't got the bubble effect though. Well, not unless you've had too much of my homemade elderflower wine, then everything has a bubble effect. Bye for now.